Okay, so just find yourself a comfortable seat. And we'll be in a couple variations of Sukhasana for a little while, so if that starts to become uncomfortable, just take care of yourself. Whichever, actually, let's go ahead, instead of just regular old Sukhasana, start with one, that sort of inside leg, the one that's closest to you, have that parallel with the top of your mat, and then the one that's in the front can kind of sit at an angle away from you. So knees are kind of lined up, and sort of my right foot is in the front. So my right knee is kind of lined up over the middle of my left foot, kind of that, and then left shin is parallel, and then the right leg is just kind of hanging out there a little bit. So it's a little bit different pull than in like a regular Sukhasana where feet are a little bit tucked in. And if that doesn't feel okay, just find a place that does. Let your hands rest on your knees. Let your eyes close. And start to make your way onto your mat. Just kind of letting all of the events that led up to this arrival leave you. And anything that's set to happen later, leave it for later. And start to find this moment. And ways that we can anchor to the present. Feeling your feet, your seat on the mat. Noticing your breath. The air on your skin, the clothes on your skin. What's happening right now. And just a couple more breaths that are the depth and length of your choosing. And if your eyes are still closed, let them open. And take a moment just to feel how this leg configuration feels. It's not that much different from the way that we normally sit, but just moving feet out a little bit kind of changes the way everything sits in the hips. And bring your hands to your hips and sit up really tall, almost exaggerating this tilt of your pelvis forward. So bringing hip points forward toward your thighs. And then keeping that long spine, almost like an arch in your back, like a cobra, and keep tilting that whole deal forward just a teeny bit at a time. And notice as you kind of shift forward what's happening and where. And then if you get to a place where fingertips can touch the mat in front of you or the ground in front of you, do that. Keep that tilt, keep that kind of tiny motion, and start to walk fingertips forward. And if you notice that you're starting to change shape in the spine just to accommodate this tilt, that's when you stop. And find a couple breaths here. And then very slowly walk yourself back upright. Bring your feet out in front of you, long legs, heels leading the way. Pull your toes up toward you. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. So it's early on, so you may stay up super high. You might let your knees bend a little bit. Just a little opening in the back of the legs, since we'll have them crossed again here in a second. And bring yourself back upright, and then set your legs up the other way. So my right shin is parallel, and then my left foot is kind of dangling out in front of me. Left knee kind of sits over the right foot. And we won't be on this side for as long, since this is how we started in our breath. So maybe just let hands rest on knees and take 2 or 3 breaths to kind of settle into this before we start tilting forward. And then just like last time, hands on hips, sit up really tall and then exaggerate that sort of belly pulling forward. You can kind of maybe feel it in the middle of your back, those muscles having to work a little extra harder, a little extra hard. And start the tilt forward with this long, long spine. And notice where these stretches become sorry, I was just like, there's something was happening in there that was confusing me. So you might notice there's a great big difference from side to side. Where the sensation hits might be a completely different place. If your fingertips are touching, start to inch them forward a teeny tiny bit at a time. And when you get to that place where the spine starts to change shape, stop. And then as much as you can, allow your muscles all around your hips and inner thighs to relax a little. And walk yourself back up. We'll send feet out in front again, just for a quick little stretch this time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. Just one full breath. And come back to seated. So bring the first foot back in front of you again in the same configuration. And actually, that's not entirely true. So this time, tuck that inside foot, tuck it in toward you. And then bring the right foot or the front foot flat on the mat. And we'll bring the hand that's on the side, my left hand, the one that's tucked in, bring that hand down to the floor in front of you. But we're gonna do that in kind of a, we're gonna gather some momentum. So we rock back onto your back hip, and then plant the hand and lift the hips. So we're only going to this little 90-90 situation, and then sit back down. So we're gonna do that 3 times. Take a big inhale breath. Exhale, plant your hand, lift your hip, and come right back down. Inhale. Exhale, rock forward, lift the hip, and exhale back down. And then last time, inhale. Exhale, hips lift, and back down. And we'll just switch sides. So tuck the other heel in, other foot plants on the mat. Take an inhale breath, a little rock back, and then the other hand comes in front, other hips lift. And I don't know about you, but like this is super awkward for me on this side. Come back down. It's like my body has no idea what to do with itself. Take an inhale, exhale, plant the hand, lift the hip, and come right back down. So 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, hips lift, and come back down. It's like I'm in someone else's body. And then one more time.
I can't get it, Shannon. I can't.
Isn't that weird?
I know. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna unmute myself, but I'm gonna try it again.
Yeah. Yeah. So inhale, exhale, plant the hand, lift the hip, and come back down. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So I guess we'll have to remember when we're on the ground which side we prefer. Okay, so that little exercise in Manta, I told Michelle, this is not gonna be like a nice little flowy put together thing. We're just gonna go from thing to thing. So come on down to your back. Feet flat on the mat, and then we'll come into that motion that I was telling you guys about last week. So send your right foot up to the ceiling, and then turn your right heel in like toward your left leg, and bring the right foot down like you're gonna come into a figure 4, and then back up to the ceiling. And foot comes all the way back down to the floor. So we'll do that 3 times. Inhale, lift the foot up. Exhale, cross it over as much as it will. Back up to the ceiling. And all the way back down, foot flat on the mat. And then 2 more times, reach it up. Cross it over. Up and back down. And 1 more. Reach it up and down. Up and down. And then just give yourself a little time to rock that side to side. Release that right hip. And we'll start on the left. So left foot up to the ceiling. Dial the heel in toward the midline a little bit. Cross it over as much as it will. Back up to the ceiling. And back down. And then reach it up. Figure 4. Up to the ceiling. And down. And then I don't know how many times that was. This is either the 3rd or the 4th time. Reach it back up. So we'll do 1 more just for fun. Reach it up. and cross and up and down, and a little rock from side to side. And then pull your knees into your chest and roll all the way onto your left side, but still in a little ball. And then use your left side to push you off all the way over to your right. And then all the way back to your left. So rocking side to side, but as far as you can on both sides. And then we're gonna attempt this maneuver. So keep rocking. Gather a little bit of momentum. And when you feel ready, once your side hits, either side, come up onto hands and knees. Yep, and then we'll go all the way from hands and knees on this side to hands and knees on the other side. And nobody's watching either on any of us, so it's totally fine. Are you ready? Roll to your side and all the way up onto the other side. And then I feel like we should do it one more time on each side. So what might help is to I'm gonna roll to the left, so to maybe slide the left arm under to make it a little easier to roll. Slide the right arm under. I hope you guys have knee pads and stuff. Okay, I feel like that's enough of that. And then roll back to your back or come back onto your back. And we'll do the same thing that we did when we were seated, but we'll try it with no hands. So we're gonna start on the side that worked better for you or worked at all for you. So I'll be tucking in my left foot and my right foot will be in front, but we'll only come up to kneeling. So pull your knees into your chest, start a little rock and roll forward and back. And then when you feel ready, tuck that one foot under and the other foot comes in front, come up to kneeling. Yeah. And then take a seat back down, pull your knees into your chest. Let's do 3 times on the side that was the most comfortable. Anytime you're ready, roll up and back down. And then last time on your favorite side. We're just building confidence on this side. Then tuck and lift. And we'll sit back down. Start rocking and rolling. And then we'll do it on the awkward side. So tuck the other one and come up. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know what's happening. So try 3 times on that side. And then when you've finished with 3, just come to rest on your back again. And pull your knees into your chest. Rock up to seated and then come back to your tabletop. So now we're on hands and knees. And the big deal is getting to this point. Because if in fact you are on the ground and you need to get up, if you're on hands and knees, you're able, hopefully, to like crawl somewhere and find something to hold on to, right? And assist your way up. So if you're on hands and knees, a couple of different ways that you could do this. Since we're yogis, we have kind of an advantage here. You can come into down dog and walk your hands back to your feet and come all the way up to standing. So try that a couple times. Just make your way back in onto hands and knees. Take a big inhale breath. Exhale, hips up and back, and use that momentum to walk hands back to feet to come into standing. And so if this really is like an issue of like getting off the floor, then obviously we're not concerned about like what the down dog is like, right? And the shorter your down dog is, the closer you are already to having hips over feet, and the better your likelihood of being able to get all the way up. Okay, so come back to hands and knees. And then here's the other thing that we can do is step one foot, doesn't matter which, out to the side, kind of into a lunge. And then toes turn under, back leg straighten. So this is shorter too. It's not really a lunge, it's kind of a 90-90 everything. So hips are over that back knee already. So when you straighten the leg, you kind of pitch forward a little bit. And so now your hips are kind of coming more toward weight bearing on the front side. And then you step the back foot forward and come into standing. So try that a couple of times on both sides. But make it short. I feel like short is the way to go here. And then when you straighten the back leg, you can push down into both feet, get that front leg strong, and come into standing. Ideally, you would be able to make it to a chair or something. And try it on the other side if you haven't. And press into standing. And then when you've finished twice on each side, come all the way to your back. Doesn't matter how. And let your hands rest on your belly. Let your eyes close. Keep your knees bent. And rock the knees side to side. So it could be a teeny weeny little windshield wiper or a great big one. And finally, let your legs come out long. And if you want, do whatever you want to with your arms, but since we didn't really do a whole lot, we didn't do any twisting, But it might feel nice to have your arms up overhead just to have something a little different go on. But do whatever you want, however you want to. And then begin the business of letting that practice go. That was new stuff. Kind of surprising stuff, maybe. So just letting it integrate, kind of absorb into your body, remembering that that's the first time that we've done anything like that, like specifically targeting that movement. So not letting it be an indicator of anything at all. Just I tried some different things today and leaving it at that. And feeling into your back body, supported by your mat. Openness in your front body. And ease in your breath. And take one more breath where you are. Make your way onto your side. And up into seated. And we'll breathe together, big reach up. And hands to heart center. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace,